Hi everyone, this is Gillian and this is take two. And if anyone was following along before, I'm really sorry about that. I actually really stuffed that up because I have Microsoft OneDrive and I didn't realize that it was trying to sync in the background and it totally sucked the living daylights out of my internet connection and made a true mess of that. So I'm going to start again. So I apologize to anyone that was following along. You're going to have to suffer through it again for a minute here. So today I'm doing a quick tutorial about using frames and grids in Canva. The things I'm going to cover are pretty similar for both. So I'm going to go with the slightly more complicated version, which is using the frames. So just quickly opening that, I am using my Canva for work account because it was open, but I will not do anything in here that you can't do in the free version. So what I'm going to do is just quickly select a lovely grid there. And I'm just going to cover a couple of things really quickly for you. And that is, I think if you've done the beginner's course, you've probably seen a lot of this before. But, obviously putting photos in there is pretty easy. You can do two things. You can drag it across, and then as soon as your mouse hovers over an area, just let it go. Or you can choose a photo and you can just click on it once, like that, and it will bring it across. It won't attach. You now need to just drag it into the spot you want to put it into. So we can fill those up pretty easily. This is quite fun because I was doing a completely different design before I got cut off. So I've completely distracted myself here. We'll put that one in. There we go. So that is the really simple part. What you can see there is it's quite hard to distinguish where one starts and one ends. So one thing you can do is go back to your left menu, click on background, and hi Justine, waving back to you in real life. I'm going to just change the background so there you can see the grid becomes much more obvious. Now the other thing you can do is, the great thing about the fact that I had to start this again is that I can cover up the mistake I made last time. Select your grid like that, and if you're on Mac, you're going to be using the Option key first. If you're on a PC, you're going to be using the Alt key. So Option or Alt, hold it down. Then I want you to hold down the Shift key. Keep them both held down, and then using at the top of your keyboard next to the backspace, the plus or minus sign, you can increase the size or decrease the size quite dramatically until it's nothing. Put a little bit back there. Now, you can actually also do this in the top menu as well. You can see up here you've got spacing. So you can do some pretty amazing things here, which I actually really love being able to do that. You can create that. It feels much more like almost a layout that you'd have in your photo album or something like that. So you can have quite a bit of fun with this. You can do some things like this. Now these other ones, flip and filter, will only work on individual photos at a time. So once you're done, click off, choose, I don't know that this is going to be much help on this. We'll have to do that upside down. Flip vertically. And you can change them around that way. It's really fantastic. It's quite easy to do. You can add in filters here if you want and adjust contrast and all of those sorts of things. So if we wanted to make that a lot whiter, it looks really great. Now, the one thing that you can't do, well, there's two things that really don't work so well here. You can't change, let me just do this, the individual transparency. So if you're going to change the transparency, it affects the whole grid. The other thing you can't do much with is the cropping tool. You find when you go on there, let me just do this properly, and you try and crop, they've pretty much not given you many choices here. So there is a way around that. Oh, and don't forget, if you want to move something around in there, double click on it. And depending on the size, in this case, the size is exactly that. Let me try another one. There you go. If you double click on it, you can actually shift to some extent the photo around. Now, when you're doing that, it is, again, a little bit limited to the size of the photo there. Now, sometimes you have something and you think, oh, I need to actually crop that image so it fits in there better, and it's not going to do it using the frame. You can obviously download the photo and do that in photo editing software, or if you're in Canva, you can just do that really quickly yourself. So what I'm going to do is show you one here. Let me find something that would work well with a crop. Here you go. So let's say I've got this and I think, oh, look, I want to crop that to a really specific sort of size so that it works well. So, if I wanted to put that in the long rectangle, what I might do here is create something that's a little bit more like that and crop it with a tick, and then download that and then re-upload it. I did that earlier with one just to show you of this little paint box here. So you can see that I did a cropped version, which changed it, or I'm just throwing things on all over the place. So it is one way to do that. It's not perfect, but if you're in Canva and you want to change something, you can put it on a different page, make the crops that you want to do there, and then download that page, re-upload it, and drag it in. There's one other thing I want to show you on here. Hi, Candace. Oh, Midnight in Kansas City. I have not been to Kansas City. I got very, very close. I was in Oklahoma, and I almost thought about nipping there, and I didn't get a chance to. And hi, Justine. Hi, Sean. Is it Sean? If I got that right? Now, I got distracted. I'll go back. There's one other thing I really want to show you here, which is really helpful. I'm just going to put something on here that's got a bit more of a white background so this works. Oh, which one will I put? I'm going to put this one into here. So if you have uploaded an image that's actually a PNG with a transparent background like your logo, the great thing is transparent backgrounds, they will not go into frames, but they will sit on top of them. So you can drag it across, adjust it, move it, and there you go. You've got a logo on there anytime you want. The thing about that is if you've got an image that you want to put in there that doesn't have a transparent background, that gets more complicated. So let me give you an example. Let's say we want to put this orange pen on there. Now I've clicked that over. The minute I try and move it around, you can see it's just going to grab into one of those frames. So I can't really do this. So what I'm going to do instead is there's a great little trick you can do here. And that is I'm going to hold my shift key down. So hold the shift key down before you click on it. Now you can move it around anywhere you want and it won't grab in. Now the minute I take off my shift key, I'm back to doing that. So shift key down, move it, and you can see it won't grab in. Now you can see it's not quite working there. So what I'm going to do though is just adjust the size. Now remember, you cannot try and move it if it's like that. What you have to do, hold that shift key down, get it into the position you want to be in, let go of the shift key. You can adjust the size. Now I've adjusted that again. If I try and move it, see what happens? I'm going to undo that. I've got to hold the shift key down every time I want to move it. But as I say, if you've got something that actually has got a background in it, because unfortunately we don't always get images that have got a transparent background, but if you need to layer that in there, that little shift key trick is absolutely brilliant. It's one of my favorites. So let me just run through the little tricks we've done again today. If you want to adjust the size of the background, you can do that by first clicking on your frame there, your grid, and then you can do it with either the spacing or you can use a keyboard shortcut, which is Option or Alt, depending on being PC or Mac, Shift, and then plus or minus on your keyboard. And the other one we had, which was if you want to put a layered image on top that has a background rather than having it grab into the frame. All you have to do is hold the shift key down before you move it. Keep the shift key held down until you've got it in place. Let it go and it will sit on top rather than going in the frame. Okay, that is it. I can't believe some of you found me. I was being really, really naughty and doing this. It's about 3 p.m. here in Melbourne, in good old Australia, in winter time. So I have summer envy from a lot of you. And I was sort of sneaking on here because I hadn't really prepared. And I thought, oh, if I make a mistake, I'll get this wrong. That's going to give me a bit of room to fix my mistakes or delete because no one will see it. But a few of you found me. So it is fantastic to see you all. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Justine, Sean, Candace, Jenny, Desiree. I'm so absolutely ecstatic that I actually had a few people join me. And I'm going to be back next week because I promised to do this every single week. Hold me to it. It's not that I don't want to do all of these things, but I do juggle a bit. Like all of you, I have got work, family, old dog, all of the things that happen. So if anyone's got any questions, even better, if there's anything you want me to actually do a tutorial on, jump in here. Hi, Laura. And just let me know what you'd like to do some tutorials on. And what we might do is also once these are recorded, just to really add to my mortification of having to play them again, I'll set up a couple of watch parties where we can play them back and you can add some more questions in. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here and I will see you soon. Bye.